before the death moment, it is called, the Chuti Chitta. You commit a certain action. How? Kamma, Kamma Nimitta and Gati Nimitta. These are the three types of mental pictures that occur in the mind. It flashes in the mind. And at the death moment, the mind is pretty weak. Unless it is developed by meditation. Unless it is developed by very clean moral life. Unless it is developed and purified by, humility, by non-greed, by generosity, by loving kindness, compassion, wisdom, not mere knowledge, wisdom. These are the factors at the last moment which determine the status of the consciousness, how strong that consciousness is. Now let us say kamma, which means any karma that we have committed during lifetime. Anything that we have done bodily, verbally, mentally. Now, in the form of a memory, it will just shoot up in your consciousness. You will remember this action. And if this action were performed by good, were motivated by something wholesome and good, kusala, by generosity, by humility, not arrogance of knowledge, not arrogance of power, not arrogance of money, none of that. Humility. And then also generosity. Giving up, not craving, not grabbing, not wanting to have, not desire. If that karma has been motivated by this very wholesome motivation, and you remember that particular karma at the last moment, just before death, then the consciousness gets so conditioned, it becomes compatible to that karma, it becomes wholesome. And with this wholesome consciousness, as soon as it arises, continues and falls, with this falling, Chuti Chitta arises. The last state of consciousness known as death consciousness. That arises and then it passes away, it falls. The momentum created by the fall of the Chuti Chitta gives rise to a new state of consciousness in a new plane of existence. If your karma was such that it can ripen only in the Kamaloka, then you are born in the Kamaloka. Not only Kamaloka, it's a very, very complex thing. You are born in a particular country, in a particular culture, in a particular linguistic culture, religious culture. All kinds of factors are involved there. So if your action last moment, the consciousness had been so committed that all these factors are involved, then you land yourself in that again. That is why it's well known that a person is born in the same family again and again. For instance, once Lord Buddha was going on a Pindapata, arms round, with a good number of very senior, all Arhat peoples, all enlightened saints, large number of them. And Buddha, he had already seen through what is going to happen in the morning, in his morning, Maha Karuna Samapatti. He had seen through what is to happen during the whole day. So he goes through a particular street in Savatthi, very well-known street, where mostly very rich and well-to-do people, and mostly hailing from the Brahmin community. are Pandits, learned, very learned people. And as the Buddha went through the street along with the monks, one old man was sitting outside, just outside his house, big house it was, the veranda. He comes running and holds the hand of the Bhagwan and said, "Oh son, I have missed you for such a long time. I haven't seen you for such a long time. Where were you? Your old mother is there. She also wants to see you." And he takes the Bhagwan inside his house. All the monks therefore follow the Bhagwan also. So there, the Brahmin with great love and with respect, he just falls at the feet of the Buddha. He said, "Oh, most venerable sir, please forgive my emotional reaction. But I was seized by a thought, by a mental experience that I can't explain of. I remember that you have been my son, not once, many times. We have been related closely. And that close relationship of the past, that memory of the past just blasted in my consciousness. And I responded spontaneously the way I did. But now I have come back to my senses. Lord, please forgive. May I offer you the Pindapath. Please accept our offering, humbly offered to you and to your monks." The Buddha accepted, calm, just quietly remaining. He immediately, was a huge household, very rich family. He immediately ordered his men here, there, and everything was made ready in you see, he took the Buddha, made him sit on a high seat, and all the monks. Then he worshipped all of them, and then the food was brought and offered to everyone. They had the food, and immediately after the food, the Buddha gave a discourse, as he always did. Whenever he received some food or anything, he always reciprocated by giving a blessing by way of Dhamma Dana, a teaching on a Dhamma teaching that will elevate the lives of these people. So Buddha gave a discourse so inspiring and edifying, so wonderful, that this old couple, they became anagami. They were spiritually transformed, never to be returned in the world of Kama, in the Kama Loka. So now these type of experiences were quite common with the Buddha. How is it? What kind of karma that fructified, ripened just at this moment, that he met the Buddha and then he took him to be as though close relative, and then he became aware of the whole thing, and he offered Pindapata. He heard the Dhamma and he was spiritually transformed. Now this is called, he had committed a particular karma, wholesome, very noble punya karma, and he had made a certain sankalpa. It is called patthana in Pali. Now in that he has said, may by this good deed, this punya karma that I have offered with pure consciousness, seeking nothing of the world, I have not sought swarga, heavenly bliss and happiness, or very rich life in the human world, human sugati, none of that. Just seeking to be free from the suffering of samsara, bhavasagara, from bhavachakra, and may at a time when the Bhagavan Buddha arises in the world in all his spiritual majesty and glory, may I be born at that time, and may I receive the Dhamma teaching from him, and may I attain spiritual liberation, enlightenment. And that's what happened. So karma and this punarjanma are corollary. There, you see, it is a question of compatibility. When you perform a karma, it acquires a certain potency, and it must ripen only at a particular, in a given circumstances. So there must be a compatibility between the karma and its potency and where it is to ripen. So the word bhava then is not only karma, but also the rebirth process where it will be reborn. So bhava also means the three bhava, kama, rupa, arupa. And there are a lot of things about it that we have to dilate on. But today I will leave it at this. And I will pick up the thread in the next discourse. May the grace of Bhagavan Buddha surround your lives with wisdom and well-being. May you all be happy. Sukhino bhavantu.